Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Friday, April 21, 2023, 3:15 p.m. Eastern. We have a time for reverse aging health call tonight at around 9 p.m. We have Michael Thomas on there. We're going to talk about the effectiveness of the different vials that he's created to combat and eliminate the attack upon us by lower frequencies on our bodies. I don't think any of us care to prematurely exit the body. Let them throw their curses. If inside I am connected to what's true, my soul stays quiet and clear. Do you think God worries what people say? If a few ashes fall on a mirror, use them to polish it. Lala, 14th century North Indian mystic. No matter what happens to you in this life, remember this one sweet understanding. You are powerful beyond measure, beautiful beyond words, and truly an extraordinary being who has access to unlimited love, creativity, and pleasure. All this is, and more, is available inside you now. And to access it, sit in a state of wonder and be in an awe of this understanding. Sit in a state of wonder and be in awe of this understanding. Try it just for a few minutes and see what happens. You might discover some resistance, denial, or perhaps the realization that this amazing fact is already within you. It is good to know that each block you encounter in this life is your greatest catalyst to diving into a deeper experience of your most enlightened self. Every experience we have as human beings contains a doorway to this divine state. All that's needed is to look for the door, reach out for the golden handle, and walk on through. There is nothing as easy and fulfilling as entering the paradise that is within your very being. It's easiest to discover this warm, fuzzy feeling inside when you are alone, in nature, quiet, and looking within yourself for many hours. To arrive at this place means letting go of the hectic outer world. Put away the busy, overly productive to-do list and devote to spend some solid quality time with you. Whatever is stopping you from making time for yourself is blocking you from experiencing the most tremendous freedom, love, and joy. So my invitation for you is that you let go of your life. Emotionally, mentally, and intentionally loosen your grip and relax into your true self. Here, you will find this powerful, beautiful, and extraordinary high vibrational being. Letting go is not easy at first. I don't think for any of us it's really easy letting go. We're so caught up in the having and gripping and wanting to let go of anything. Is we're not in the habit of letting go. So it's not easy at first, especially when we're used to spending our lives living like a closed, tight fist, white knuckling it. So you practice loosening the grip. And try it for at least 1 hour every day. You might be pleasantly surprised how much you look forward to this time. I think a lot of us have been taught that when you let go, you lose, or you're going to lose everything. Can't let go of this, can't let go of that. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're giving things up from that perspective. What it means is that you're not holding on to them. You're not attached. You love interacting with whatever it is and enjoying it, but you're not attached. So if it were to disappear, which eventually one day it will, you're not disturbed by it. It's temporary. And once we get to the understanding that everything is temporary, that we don't attach ourselves to anything, and we don't have expectations from anybody, even ourselves. It's a wonderful habit to engage and practice. But, like I said, you imagine that you're holding on to the steering wheel and your knuckles are white and you're gripping onto it so hard that you just don't even know it. One time I was in a snowstorm, a blizzard up here in the mountains, and this was years ago, and I had my brother, one of the members of our team, in the front seat, and the dog. The snow was so heavy that you could not see. You had to look at the reflectors about 4 or 5 feet high on the side of the road. Now, interesting, at that time, there were no guardrails. So and you got all this snow, right? And you're not in a four-wheel drive vehicle. You're in a front-wheel drive car. And normally you'd look at the guardrails like as training wheels, and it'd be okay because you say, well, if I slide off, I'll hit the guardrail. But there were no guardrails, and you could see the tops of trees that were like 100 feet tall, and way up thousands of feet in the mountains. So this blizzard was relentless. Now, I didn't know it, but after the blizzard and going down, because all these cars were stopping and pulling off on the shoulders where there was no guardrails, I decided to keep going and, weather it out, But when we got out of it, and I didn't know this, but the next morning when I woke up, my right hand felt like someone took a sledgehammer and just smashed it. And I correlated it and connected it. Said, I was gripping onto that wheel that tight, and I didn't even know it. This is what we do with everything. We don't know it. You don't know it unless you have some kind of kickback, pain or something. So ever since then, I use that as a visual of my life, right? And I let go. I loosen my grip. And every one of us are absolutely worth it. When you look at yourself in the mirror, and most of us don't even go there with this, what you see is seeing you. Isn't that amazing? We don't think about that. But what you see is seeing you. Maybe not always clearly, yet we can only see aspects of ourselves. Our entire life is too huge, too amazing, and magnificent to digest in just one sitting. It's like you can look back at your day and remember most of what happened, yet try and look back on your entire life and even past lifetime and digest everything in the same detailed manner. You are much bigger than the mind can conceive. When you come to the edge of all the light you know, and you're about to step off into the darkness of the unknown, faith is knowing one of two things will happen. There will be something solid to stand on, or you will be taught how to fly. Unknown. You start feeling a fraction of just how amazing you truly are. Begin with letting go of any limiting beliefs that arise about yourself, where you say that you're not good enough, or that you're not strong enough, or that you're not powerful enough, or that you're not smart enough. These are limiting beliefs that arise about ourselves. If you think you're too nice, right? People, people will say to themselves that they're too nice, shouldn't have done that, too old, too fat, too ugly, too poor. These are old, boring stories and excuses. In truth, they are just tiny electrons passing through the brain, making you believe you're in some prison. Realize these are all just thoughts passing through your consciousness in each moment. Now, remember, a thought has no power, no energy at all. It's a thought. Now, when you take a thought, you give it, you focus on that thought, you energize it, okay? So you literally take energy, move it into form, create it in reality, and experience it. Now, you can choose any thought, of course, that you want. You can choose to pay attention to the good ones or the bad ones. And it is absolutely, totally up to you. You can easily break free from any negative or limiting beliefs running around in your mind by surrendering to loving you. Trust in the feeling of love. Believe that love is the way. Notice how it feels to be a bit more gentle and kind with yourself. What does it feel like to accept all parts, all of your parts? Real love is deep and eternal. It has no reason why it loves. It just constantly sends out gentle energy, working its magic in healing all parts of you every time. There is nothing more powerful and transformational than pure, deep, eternal love. When you devote your day to loving you, being gentle with you, something very magical occurs. You start to feel the love that is already inside you now. Deep inside your soul is the infinite source of love, the energy of God, source, absolute consciousness. Whatever name you place on it, the energy is the same. It is creating your experience of reality in every millisecond of your life. And it is the most benevolent, brilliant, and loving source there ever will be. Neither a lofty degree of intelligence nor imagination, nor both together, go to the making of genius. Love, love, love. That is the soul of genius. Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. Everyone on this planet, in this now, are all sacred on this sacred spiritual journey. right? Everyone on this planet is all sacred on this sacred spiritual journey. Together. We are one. We always have been. We always will be, ever, beyond, and forever. This life is for our enjoyment, transformation, spiritual growth, and eventually, our enlightenment. We are here to enlighten the load from our past. Let go of all the heaviness we've been carrying for lifetime. Whatever has been burdening, blocking, or frustrating to us is not real. The very instant we clearly see what is real, then everything changes immediately. There is this great relief inside as we no longer have to fight or resist anything in this life anymore. The war is over. We can see the truth and accept that which we believed was totally unacceptable about ourselves. It is then that our greatest joy in freedom begins to settle in. There is nothing you can do to make a wrong turn in this life. The only reason you would believe that is that the ego mind is telling you you have. Everything, and I mean everything, is part of your destiny. On an infinite highway where everything is connected, all lanes eventually reach the same infinite destination. You cannot mess up your life. No matter how hard you try, knowingly or unknowingly, you cannot mess up your life. It is perfectly imperfected, just as it is. It contains all the bittersweet and sour elements needed to release your tight grip inside yourself. Relax deeply. Find out that you are powerful, beautiful, and truly extraordinary. On those days when you feel that you made a wrong turn in your life, where you got in trouble for not yielding to the other, where you had an unconscious moment and smashed into someone you loved, it may feel like everything is lost. Maybe you were driving with one foot on the brake, the other foot on the gas, and mainly looking backwards in the rearview mirror. The discovery here is forgiveness. Let go of whatever mistakes you've made in your life. They are last year's movie. Just observe the judgments of these movies about yourself without participating in that judgment. Welcome the experience of whatever your great error was and accept that it was a lesson teaching you something deeper about yourself in this life. By welcoming whatever judgments are showing up about yourself, the judgment-aholic inside gets to step down from its pedestal. And a hint of clarity somehow naturally finds its way in. A glimmer of lightness finds its way into the deepest, darkest night of the soul. When you fully experience judgment for whatever it has to say, without holding on to any story about it, this universe has to present itself to you with full clarity. My invitation for you this upcoming week is this. Do not resist any experience that life gives you. Welcome all the good and the bad you see inside you. Yet give some extra special attention to that part of you that is powerful beyond measure, beautiful beyond words, and truly an extraordinary being who has access to deep eternal love. Any resistance is futile and just makes you contract from life and get even more emotionally knotted up inside. If you must resist an experience in this life, be conscious about it. Know that this is your choice. There is always another way to experience who you are. Try this for 1 week, and a relaxing, freeing feeling will move on in. Just trust the process. Let go and surrender to what is deeper and already at peace on the inside. Isn't it ironic that we explore this life, right? And we're usually caught outside of ourselves, whatever it may be, whatever the motivation may be. You know, we're literally constantly outside of ourselves, seeking, wondering, grasping, gripping, pulling. And where do we end up? We usually come to the conclusion that we never did find it, did we? Outside of us, we never found it. We were all taught that, hey, everything's outside of you. Everything outside of you is super powerful and strong. You, however, are weak, timid. There is no beginning or ending in the journeyless journey to nowhere. You do not start from somewhere, and you do not end at anywhere. You are where you are, and you continue from there. Bodhidharma. Everything is energy. And that's all there is to it. Match that frequency of what you really want, and you cannot help but get that reality. It can be no other way. This is not philosophy. This is physics. Albert Einstein. Everything is energy, and that's all there is to it. Match the frequency of the reality that you want, and you cannot help but get that reality. It can be no other way. This is not philosophy. This is physics. This universe we live in is more intelligent than the mind can even come close, even a smidgen of comprehension. There are many hidden dimensions on everything and everyone within it. There are thousands of dimensions. Do they end? No. We truly exist in the most fascinating, multidimensional, and infinitely mysterious field of conscious intelligent energy. This divine harmonic matrix is vibrating with life all around us. It is inside us and is constantly connecting with our every breath, thought, emotion, and heartbeat. Just look all around you. Everything is constantly exploding in an orgasm of wild, unabandoned creativity. Right now, millions of flowers are blossoming, giving birth to the most amazing sights and scents. Amazing sacred geometric crystals are forming perfect patterns beneath the Earth's crust, while millions of animals, birds, insects, and humans are having intercourse in the most interesting positions. This is just the tiny tip of the iceberg as to all the wild, mysterious, and beautiful things happening on this planet right in this very now. If and when you observe nature long enough, you'll see everything is always changing, including you, that body. They say that we cannot step into the same river twice. And by the time we've stepped in it once, everything, including ourselves, is already completely different. This means that you cannot have the exact same sequence of thought patterns and feelings that you had last month or last year. Our mind and emotional intelligence is continuously growing, evolving, and changing. We were born highly intelligent beings who were meant to outgrow the small trousers we once wore in the second grade. And truly, we wouldn't really want to try to put them on again. If you take a microscope, really powerful one, look into the DNA inside every cell in your body, you see that they all contain a sacred imprint that is unique to you. In each quantum particle of your DNA is this wild and uncharted, magnificent, intelligent mystery within it. This mysterious intelligence is embedded within the foundation of your blood, your bones, brain. You cannot escape from it, no matter how hard you try. What's interesting is that the mind tends to take for granted this sacred mystery every day. The mind has this tendency to create habits, fall into these little comfort zones of thought, safe emotional thought patterns. It finds ideas which label life, placing ourselves and others into tiny, compartmentalized little thought boxes so we can feel more secure, self-assured, somewhat organized, standing in the face of this wild, uncharted, infinite mystery that's surrounding us in all directions. The moment we put anything in this divine existence into a thought box, we forget all about enjoying a state of devotion and worship to the divine mystery. The instant we forget about the great mystery of this life, we initiate the suffering process. Every experience of this life thereafter becomes a challenge as we live from the head and not from the heart. The mind is a master at continuously getting lost and believing all its inner thought structures are real. When our intellect holds tight onto fixed beliefs, it thinks this life will feel more manageable, giving the illusion of control and the sensation that we are becoming wiser. Yet this hard-coded, know-it-all mindset demolishes our childlike curiosity and abolishes any form of reverence for this deeply sacred divine mystery. Curiosity has its own reason for existing. One cannot help but be in awe when he contemplates the mysteries of eternity, of life, of the marvelous structure of reality. It is enough if one tries merely to comprehend a little of this mystery every day. Never lose a holy curiosity. Albert Einstein. One of the greatest mysteries that has been discovered in this life is the human psyche. The human psyche is the accumulation of other people's thoughts, beliefs, and assumptions that we've adopted and inherited as our own. All these beliefs from the entire experience of ourselves, other people, this world, and our entire reality. The way we think, how we think, why we think this way and not that way is the core network of our psyche and makes us believe and behave more like predictable machines than a live cosmic orgasm. The human psyche, however, has a magical side to it, in that whatever we accept as the truth becomes what we actually manifest physically into our lives. This may be one of the most awesome mysteries mankind has to explore. Our foundational belief structure is so powerful, pervasive, and penetrating that it always manifests itself in every single possible outcome and experience we have. This universe always supports whatever we believe. If deep down you believe you are not a lovable person, the universe will constantly manifest for you the most challenging people, negative situations, and experiences that support this belief inside. If and when you truly believe you are lovable, this universe always supports whatever you believe. If deep down you believe you are not a lovable person, the universe will constantly manifest for you the most challenging people, negative situations, and experiences that support this belief inside. If you truly believe you are lovable, the universe will slather your life with sweet, lovable beings devoted to caring about you, honoring you, caring for your needs in the most intimate, vulnerable ways. This intelligent universal energy simply follows thought. Whatever you believe about you is where the energy flows and manifests into the entire show all around you. There are people that don't believe, they just will not believe this. Okay? On one hand, I know whatever I focus on, I create. But they keep doing it over and over and over again. In this highly technological age, people these days tend to believe science easier than religion. If you can prove God is real in a lab, then it must be true. What's fascinating about this time frame in our lives is that the quantum physicists of this world have ventured so deep into particles that they have had to merge their scientific understanding with a spiritual context. Their practical Newtonian vocabulary doesn't have the words to explain the outrageous results they are finding. They are having to use more spiritual words and concepts to bridge the understanding of these hard-coded scientific results. For example, they have taken two quantum particles that's very, 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 very tiny, that were spinning around each other and found a way to separate them by a few kilometers in distance. Later, they spun one of the particles counterclockwise. And noticed that instantly, the other particle that was kilometers away would also change, spinning in this new direction. Now, this has been done many times, thousands of times, with the same results. So it's absolutely conclusive. There exists some form of spiritual intelligence that is communicating between all quantum particles in this universe, no matter what physical distance is between them. It's just like your mind cannot comprehend that a cubic meter of space has enough energy and power in it, cubic meter, to boil all the oceans on this planet. No, everybody would say, well, that's just space. How can that be? It is. It's been proven many times. When the mind cultivates the ability to direct thought in one specific direction for an extended period of time, the person can physically attract, magnetize, and soon manifest an actual physical thing into their field of existence. It has been the 21st century for a while now, and the understanding that we are the manifesting magicians of the quantum soup of highly intelligent energy all around us has become an actual science in the quantum physics. And the spirituality, spiritually enlightened communities, the relationship between the mystic and the scientist were separated 500 years ago. And now the pendulum is swinging back towards their reunification. It is our inherent curious nature to want to put labels on things, people, ourselves, and create a universal law of attraction that will solve this great manifesting mystery of this life. We think that if we have a more concrete global understanding of this life, then we can relax and rest even deeper into our spiritual nature. Perhaps only a fool would believe that we need something external to let go and relax internally. Why would we need to feel inferior to being one with Mother Nature, just so as to push away our insecurity and strive towards a need to feel superior? The human psyche, as has been mentioned, is the greatest mystery of them all. All that we have to do is to give up identifying with the body, with forms and limits, and then we shall know ourselves as the infinite self that we always are, Ramana Maharishi. Maybe when science creates a machine to find the source of consciousness, and mankind will feel like a god. Yet, why take the long road? Why not just look inside your source of consciousness itself and discover real evidence of where consciousness comes from? Realize what consciousness is made of and why it exists. And relax into the greatest innermost mystery of them all. I have the feeling that in order for our world to solve these deep, outrageous questions in the future, quantum physicists must merge completely with the metaphysical mindset if modern science is to make any real progress. I'm guessing by now you're more interested in how your life can personally benefit from applying this enlightening path of understanding the great mystery. You want to know how understanding the metaphysical manifesting mystery can make your life easier, more abundant, healthy, loving, happy, and financially free. In order for you to have access to manifesting anything and everything you desire in your life, you must first start with believing in one basic foundational understanding. Whatever we continuously focus our attention on grows, multiplies, and manifests automatically in our lives. With the help of this natural, powerful, magnetic, manifesting intelligence that's inside everything. With all this amazing manifesting power already inside of us, it's quite ironic that more people are not accessing it. Many of us are stuck in jobs we don't like, relationships that we lose energy battling with every day. And we are either having some sort of food, drug, alcohol, or sex addiction that is taking priority over any real deep spiritual devotion and exploration. The basic reason for all human suffering here is simple. The mind keeps focusing on what we don't want, and thus keeps manifesting more of the same. New thoughts rarely have space to form, and after 70 or 80 years, the human being has wasted all its precious energy on magnetizing on what it doesn't want and doesn't have. The only reason we are not always manifesting everything that we want is because we cannot keep our mind focused long enough on feeling that they are receiving that one thing that they truly desire to have. It's that simple. Once we retrain the brain to stay focused, fiercely, deeply, and resolutely focused, we will become the manifesting master of our world. When we practice meditation, we will one day attain mastery over our mind and actually reach a state of physical mastery over our physical world. Right now, the master is fast asleep. The mind, the servant, is playing the role of master. And the servant is created by the outside world. It follows the outside world and its laws. Once your awareness becomes a flame, it burns up the whole slavery that the mind has created. There is no blissfulness more precious than freedom, than being a master of your own identity. Ocean. When it comes down to life-mind mastery within the great mystery, it is all about discovering the source of pure awareness inside. This is that simple, obvious awareness that is always watching, listening, and experiencing everything in your life all the time. It is the light behind the movie screen of your mind, responsible for projecting the entire picture onto everything that you feel, sense, and see. It is responsible for shining the light on every single thought and feeling that you have about anything. It's always the source of what your experience is in every moment of your existence. We don't give awareness enough credit. We rarely recognize that it's there and hardly ever take the time to sit down with it and relax into the source of it. The reason we take awareness for granted is because it is ever present, always here, now, just like the air you're breathing. Yet think about it. What if awareness wasn't present anymore? What would happen to your life? Who would you be without awareness? Who would exist if there were nobody to be aware of your existence anymore? These are some deep thoughts to contemplate. Yet when we do take the time to explore them, something magical happens. We start becoming more in touch with this divine state of awareness. Whatever we focus on is what we experience more of, and eventually manifest into physical action and form. Whatever we meditate on results in who we are going to become tonight and tomorrow morning. As we become more aware of the infinite spiritual source of awareness inside, we become more connected with what's totally in charge of what we're magnetizing. We can see each thought fly by and see exactly how each one is attracting, creating, and designing how our entire lives unfold and manifest. It is only when we become conscious of this perfect divine play manifesting inside of us and all around us that we stop fighting ourselves, each other, and beating our heads against our inner emotional prison walls. When we stop pushing up against life and start appreciating that everything is an aspect of the great sacred mystery, we start resonating at a higher level of consciousness. We begin feeling more expansive when we wake up in the morning. And greet the day with a childlike curiosity, creativity, and wonder. We do this because at the source of pure awareness, it's easy to realize there truly are no actual prisons in this infinite quantum field of intelligent energy. Prisons are not only limiting beliefs of our highly creative imagination. If you name me, you negate me. Kierkegaard. If you name me, you negate me. It is found that on a karmic level, every person has a unique inner emotional prison. And this is part of their unique soul's destiny. Every human came here to release the tie, their soul, the lie their soul was fed. They came to re-experience the feelings of being confused, rejected, abandoned, hated, suppressed, depressed, and stuck in order to transcend them all. We needed to step harder on them, hiding in our shoe, step on the thorn, hiding in our shoe. We need to step harder on the thorn, hiding in our shoe, in order to stop hiking up this great mountain and remove it with love. At some point, every day, we each run into some feeling of being stuck, blocked, or challenged by something or someone. We feel limited, small, powerless, or suppressed from our full expression. Every human mind already has the program installed to throw itself into some emotional dumpster repeatedly. There are many little thorns hiding in our shoes that we are unaware of. Thus, something terrible happens in the outer world. We get dumped by a lover. We end up trashing our self-esteem, our love for life, our feeling of being empowered, and falling into some treacherous feeling of being locked up in an emotional prison we cannot escape from. All of this thorny karma we carry may sound terribly depressing. Yet it's good to remember that this universe is more loving, mysterious, and intelligent than we could ever imagine. There is a very beautiful, yet unobvious reason why this divinely intelligent, deeply eternal, loving universe has set life up to throw each and every one of us through experiences of emotional pain, agony, and suffering. The reason is so that we stop everything we are doing and become deeply inspired to evolve in a spiritual dimension. The spiritual path is the time only way we can remove all our thorns and break out of our thick mental and emotional prisons. The only problem is that the mind tends to get lazy and wrapped up in old habit and would never search for the keys to our spiritual freedom unless we felt deeply trapped, imprisoned, or struck. The mind loves to create these emotional prison cells in the brain, as each one provides new fuel to blast off into a new experience of creativity, growth, and evolution, movement, and eventually rich total liberation. This search for freedom is as much our destiny as the prisons we've placed ourselves in. There are no real enemies in this world. There are only imaginary shadows. The thorns in our shoes can be removed, and once we realize that they are also created by our own imagination, we must move beyond the mind, through the unconscious righteous mind that believes it is aware, yet is truly ignorant and not worshiping the great mystery 24 hours a day. It is this ignorance that is our only real enemy. The mind is deeply stuck in thought and ego, and will only strive to create something new when some form of horrific pain, fear, or slavery begins bubbling up inside. I'll join you in the meditation, and I'll return to close us out. Take an easy and slow breath in through the nose. And an easy and slow breath out from the mouth. Remain still. Whatever your mind is challenged with will melt the moment that you turn towards gentleness. Take this moment to feel into this deep, sweet, gentle presence inside. Do you feel it? You will never be harmed or led astray by being truly gentle with you. Explore more gentleness. It's the fastest way to healing you. Believe it. Gentleness is existence loving you. Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night, and the following morning, and we will return here tonight, Friday, April 21st, 2023, 9 p.m. Eastern, to continue our reverse aging health call. And Saturday, April 22nd, 2023, 3:15 p.m. Eastern, to continue our global guided meditation call. Be gentle, kind, generous, and humble with oneself at all times. Be in the deepest, deepest, deepest of eternal gratitude at all times. Watch what happens, no matter what's going on around you or outside of you.